Well, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to buckle your seatbelt because here's where things get really, and I mean really dicey between the Big 12, Colorado, and UConn. It's being stated that Colorado won't leave the Pac-12 if it's not supported by Deion Sanders. Another night? Say it with me now. Another prime time video. Whoa, 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 hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We have a interesting situation that is currently unfolding between our eyes. This ain't gonna be your typical primetime video. Well, it's gonna be a primetime video, but not like we're gonna talk about Deion Sanders. You get what I'm trying to say. Or maybe you don't get what I'm trying to say. We're not here to talk about Deion Sanders so much. We're here to talk about the developing story going on that Colorado is going to be leaving the Pac-12. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I've been following this situation very closely over the past couple of days. And per usual, I've been waiting to hold off to make a video on this because I don't want to be the first to report on the news. I want to be the best to report on the news. And at this point in time, I feel like I've gathered up enough information, so you might want to grab you some popcorn, grab you a snack, whatever you like to eat or drink when you watch a video, because trust me, I do the same thing. It's going to be a good one. Now, here's the thing with this. It's not just quite as simple as, okay, Colorado's going to be leaving the Pac-12 or allegedly leaving the Pac-12. What are the repercussions of this? Because up front, just glancing at this firsthand, I don't know if this is good for Colorado and Deion Sanders, and I'll explain why in this video. I think it's safe to say we got a lot to talk about and go over. This is an ongoing story, so you might want to follow up, subscribe to the channel, join our amazing community if you want updates on the situation. And plus, if you like college football, this is a great place to be. Just ask anybody in the comment section. All right, Matt, blah, blah, should I grab up? Now, without further ado, let's get into it. So, there's not really a way to ease anything, so we're just going to jump straight into it. Rumors have been circling the past week or so that Colorado is going to be leaving the Pac-12. When I first saw this, it was either about 5 or 6 days ago. And I will be 100% transparent with all of you guys. I don't lie. I mean, there's no reason for me to lie. I didn't buy it. I was like, what? Colorado leaving the Pac-12? Why would the Big 12 even want them? No disrespect, but you can take it disrespectfully if you want. Why would the Big 12 want Colorado? They suck. Or at least they used to suck. I'll elaborate on that in just a second. The first time I saw this, it just didn't make sense to me from any standpoint, no matter how you looked at it. And every day I saw the story continue to grow and grow and grow, and fast forward in time, 5 to 6 days later to May 31st, here we are in the story. It's picking up some serious heat. It's picking up some serious heat. Is that even a saying? I don't know. Let's just roll with it. It's been all over Instagram and Twitter. I actually had a couple of you send this to me today. By the way, I greatly appreciate when you guys send me stuff, tag me and stuff. It really helps on the videos, helps on the channel. Right here, trending. The Colorado Buffaloes have engaged in talks with the realignment with the Big 12 and blah, 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 blah. A bunch of big words, a bunch of complicated words. Let's dumb this down. Colorado, they've been talking with the Big 12. That was on Instagram, and a lot of the comments, they weren't too thrilled about this idea. A lot of Big 12 fans, it seems like they don't want Colorado coming to the Big 12 just because, you know, they're not that very good. Look, I'm not here to talk about what's going to happen next year at Deion. I'm here to talk about what's happened up until this point. For example, you see this comment right here. Colorado needs to win at least 5 games first. Another comment, maybe string together consecutive seasons of going at least 500 before you think about going to a substantially harder conference. And I do agree. The Big 12 over the past 10 years has been probably 2 times better than the Pac-12. A couple more. No, they can't even handle the Pac-12. Bruh, they weren't even a force in the Pac-12, let alone the Big 12. I could do this for days. I think you get a point. That's a good enough sample size of the comments. People, they're laughing at this. They're like, yo, why would the Big 12 even get Colorado? The same way I was looking at this. That was just on Instagram. Also on Twitter, I had a couple people sending me this. This is from Justin Cohen, who is reportedly a pretty reliable source. Is that true? I don't know, but we'll just read what he says. Speaking with those close to the scene, I'm told a deal for Colorado to join the Big 12 is all but done. Final details are still being discussed, but all parties are on board for the realignment. I've never even heard of this guy, but after doing a lot of more digging and a lot more research, that is what everybody is saying. Another example right here from Aaron Torres, who is a really good source I use all the time, can tell you that what Jason Scheer heard is in line with what I've heard as well. Colorado and UConn are the Big 12's priority at this moment. Sounds like a strange pair, which I do agree with. I'll speak on it in just a second, but there's a plan in place that will make sense if/when it comes together. And as you can see right here, Jason Scheer tweeted out, the most smoke surrounding the Big 12 as of now is UConn and Colorado. 5 days ago, if I had to say what's the percentage or chance of Colorado actually going to the Big 12 or joining them, I'd say about 4-5%. But now, with all the information I've seen and from everything I've heard from my sources included, I'd say it's almost a done deal as well. I'd give it a 88% chance. At this point in time, it just seems like a win, not a if. So if you haven't heard anything about this, I have given you a long story, and I mean a very long story, very short. There's been a lot of boring crap going on in the past 5 or 6 days, but I gave you the major details, and really that's all that matters. And as you can see right here, someone even posted what the new Big 12 would look like, and it just added Colorado, BYU, UCF, Houston, and UConn. And oh yeah, I also do believe Cincinnati. Yeah, Cincinnati. You see them right there. With all that being said, let's address the elephant in the room, the biggest question I assume that everybody's going to have, and even I have. Why in the crap is the Big 12 going after UConn and Colorado? Of all the schools in the country, UConn and Colorado are your top 2 priorities? What's the reasoning behind that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to buckle your seatbelt because here's where things get really, and I mean really dicey between the Big 12, Colorado, and UConn. I've seen people stating that the Big 12 isn't as quote-unquote concerned and quote-unquote prioritizing football like they want it to come off as. The Big 12 will come out and say this is a football move, but in reality, everything I've seen, this is a basketball move. And I never even looked at it from that perspective, but when I heard that, when somebody told me, yo, Matt, this is a basketball move, I then looked at this map again. I was like, oh, yeah, that makes way more sense. Because look who they're adding. Houston, one of the top basketball teams in the country. UConn, one of the top basketball teams in the country. You see where I'm going with this. Is Colorado a top basketball team? No, but it doesn't hurt the conference. But whoa. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, here's where things get even more interesting. It's being stated that Colorado won't leave the Pac-12 if it's not supported by Deion Sanders. Yeah, that's right. You heard me correctly. I'll show it to you word for word. Colorado and the Big 12 have met face-to-face while involved in consistent talks over a period of several months, according to multiple sources. It was made clear that a move to the Big 12 would not be made without the support of football coach Deion Sanders. What do y'all think about that? That goes to show you how powerful Deion Sanders is. The football team won't even go to the Big 12 if Deion Sanders doesn't want to. I don't know if I've ever heard of anything like that before where a team is like, you know what, we're not going to change conferences unless our football coach supports it. That just goes to show you how powerful and how impactful Deion Sanders is. There's a bunch of other boring stuff that I've read and there's no point of sharing, but one thing that is worth mentioning is if they join the Big 12 in 2025, they're going to get $31.7 million in media shares. That's a pretty lucrative deal if you had to ask me. Going back to the Deion thing, would he approve of this? Here's how I'm looking at it. Why wouldn't he? I don't think Deion Sanders is going to be too upset about leaving the Pac-12. I don't even think he cares about it. It's not like the Big 12 is the SEC. It's not that type of competition. We're talking about the Big 12, guys. Remember, they're losing Oklahoma and Texas. The real question and conversation we need to have is, what's next for the Pac-12? They're disintegrating. I guarantee you in 10 years, the Pac-12, it won't even be a thing. And if it is a thing, it's going to be a conference with a bunch of cupcakes and nobodies. I firmly believe we're heading down the path where we're going to have 3 mega conferences. The SEC, the Big 10, and the Big 12, and that's it. The ACC and Pac-12, they're going to be gone. Or maybe not gone, but they're going to be pretty much forgotten about. Nobody's going to take them seriously. As far as it goes for the Big 12, I think if you can get UConn and Colorado, that looks like the 2 teams they're trying to get, that'd be some big-time pickups. UConn's trying their best to revive the football program, and this would be a step into the right direction. But if you had to ask me, I have a hard time believing this isn't a basketball move as well. We'll see what happens. We'll see. If you know anything about this, feel free to inform us in the comment section or send it to me on Twitter. I'd greatly appreciate it, but let me know your thoughts down below. But